Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin. And guess what? I'm Kevin Martin, a hypnotherapist, mindset coach, and a lot of other stuff, I guess, from Positive Effects Coaching and Hypnosis. And the more important thing today is this is my coffee. Mm, enjoy the little things. Enjoy the little things. It's wonderful. It's Tuesday, November 5th. These weeks are just sliding by. Sliding by. Now, an important thing on today, and I won't go over the things in history. I'll go over what's going on today. Today is an important day. Guess what? It's election day. Yeah, we're finally here. It's incredible. So if you didn't get out and vote yet, get out and vote. Find a Find your place to go vote and go vote. It's as simple as that, I think. I'm looking for my chats here. So, yeah, it's election day. And I got out, or we got out, my wife and I got out this morning, a little after 7. Wanted to get an early start. Um, and yeah, we did. And there was a 15-minute waiting line. Here we are, a little after 7. There's a 15-minute waiting line, and already more than half of the voters had voted early voting. Wow. There's going to be a turnout, I think, in voting. And we'll see what it's like as the day goes on. It's a little too early. I won't even go look until, later in the day, 5 or 6 o'clock, because there's going to be, this vote, this going this way, this going that way. Voting day, election day can be, how do I want to put this, strenuous and stressful, depending on the election. And I guess this year is another strenuous and stressful election. And here in Florida, it's more so about the amendments and the other people running than it was about the two main presidential people running. Yeah, we see those commercials, but nowhere near as much. And here I was. I get naive once in a while. I don't really, really understand or maybe think too positively. So I come home after voting and I said, "Ooh, this is going to be good. Let's watch the news a little while." And I said that one of the things we don't have to worry about is all of those commercials. Boy, was I naive. Commercials are there like they were before, maybe even more so. It's the last day of voting. And it's going to be good to get those out of the way. But election day is the right to go out and vote. We're a democratic country, and we're proud of that. We're proud of them, being a country where we elect our officials. And it's a responsibility you have. It's a responsibility you have as a citizen, is to be able to vote. But it's not a responsibility so much as it is as a privilege. The idea that you get to take part in something that's going to drive basically what the world's going to be when you're talking about the presidential races, because we are still the leading country of the free world. So yeah. So the results actually drive what's going to happen, and we all get to be a part of it. We all get to be a part of it. So it's really cool. This is a milestone for us because it's our first election that we get to vote in, being here a little over a year. I don't think there were any last year, certainly not a presidential election. And yeah, and so it was wonderful to be able to be part of that. And now we can say we voted as citizens of Florida. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. because we're over the election thing already. Big day for us in the whole country, but it is. I found out the other day. It's National Gratitude Month. It's National Gratitude Month. So I'm going to have quotes on gratitude all month long in November because I think gratitude is one of the most powerful feelings and states of mind that we can have. It truly, truly is. And I'm always talking about it. You've heard me talk about it many, many times. What gratitude can do for you. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. My first quote is: "The more grateful I am, the more beauty I see." That's by Mary Davis. Don't ask me who she was or is, but I love this. The more grateful I am, the more beauty I see. Now, you've heard me say many times, the more grateful you are, the more you'll have to be grateful for. This is similar, only this is actually bringing up the experience part of you that happens when you're grateful for things in your life. You actually start to see things that you can be grateful for, and you have the opportunity to be grateful for. I see the more beauty I see, whether it's natural beauty, you're seeing it around you, you're seeing the plants, the trees, the sky, the sun, whether it's that kind of beauty, like the sunset I have in my background, or it's the beauty you start to see in people. When you're more grateful, you start to see things, you start to experience things in a whole new way. The more grateful I am, the more beauty I see. I love that. I love that. And I've been there and I've experienced that. And it truly is a fact. So if you want to see more beauty, if you want to have more things in your life to be grateful for, you want to start seeing the beauty in people more often. Start to be grateful for the things you already have, for the things you already see, for the things you already experienced. Let's take a look at the next one. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough, and the more and more. And it turns denial into acceptance, chaos into confusion, into order, and confusion into clarity. Wow, that's pretty big, huh? It turns what we have into enough or more. When we stop and pause and we look to what we can be grateful for, we start to think about what we have and say, okay, it's enough, or it's even more than enough. Before we stop and pause, before we find that gratitude, we tend to say, okay, I want more. I don't have enough. I wasn't served enough. I don't, I didn't get my fair share. And then when we stop and pause and look for what we're grateful for, and I'll tell you, a lot of my clients, I do a gratitude exercise with, and I say, okay, write 25 or 50 things you're grateful for, and at first they can only find three, or maybe two, or some can't even find one. But when they have the ability to look back in their life for the things that truly were there, and if they weren't there, they wouldn't, their life may be worse off. They can start to find that, and then they start to think, well, maybe I'm not as bad off as I thought I was. There were good things in my life. There were good people in my life, even. So maybe it's not as bad. So gratitude actually has that power to turn our thoughts around, to turn our thoughts from terrible worthlessness to something of worth. And our last one: Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. I said gratitude. Cicero. 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 That's what it is. Um, Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. And I love this, and I think it's true. I think it's gratitude as a feeling, as a state of mind, but it's also a virtue. It's also a virtue. And it's also a value. Some people value gratitude. They value being thankful or looking to be thankful for the things in their lives. It's the parent of all others. It's the parent of all other emotions. It's the greatest of all emotions. So, yeah, I think gratitude is something great. What I'd like you to do, I'm going to go back to the very first one because I love this one. It's so simple, so short. The more grateful I am, the more beauty I see. What I want you to do, if you want a task, I want you to, when you shut this off, start thinking about and start looking for the things that you're thankful for. The things that maybe you weren't thankful for before you started to research in your life. The everyday things. You get up in the morning. You get up in the morning, and if you get up and you're going to work, think of how many other people that get up and they want to go to work, but they can't because they don't have work. There's something to be grateful for. The fact that you can get up and stand up and get yourself going fairly quickly. Think of how many people that wake up in the morning and they have a hardest time to get out because they're depressed or maybe they got physical disabilities. Something to be thankful for. If you get up in the morning and you go meet your partner, your spouse, or siblings, or even parents, think of how many people that don't have that wake up in the morning alone because they don't have any of that. It's something to be grateful for. I used to run into some people that had the coolest answer for this. I'd ask them how they're doing, and they say I'm doing so great because I woke up on the right side of the dirt. They were grateful for the fact, and mostly it's older people. They were grateful for the fact that they woke up. Period. Because they had a lot of friends and family that had died, and they're still alive. And it was just a funny thing of saying, I'm happy because I'm alive. I'm grateful because I'm alive. Find the little things. You get up and you have a pet that comes in and sees you and wants to play or wants to get petted. That's really happy to see you. That's something to be grateful for. You get up and you go out, whether it's to work or out anywhere else, and you have people smiling at you. There's something to be grateful for. You have people greeting you. You have friends or associates or peers that are happy to see you. There's something to be grateful for. The fact that they're there and you can talk to them, there's something to be grateful for. I walk outside and I look at the palm trees. I come from living 60 plus years in Massachusetts. We didn't have palm trees. We have pines and oaks and all sorts of other trees that are green, that are beautiful in the fall, which I'm always grateful for. But I walk outside and I look at the palm trees and I say, oh my God, I'm living in paradise. Of course, I'm grateful for that. Find the things you're grateful for. Journal them, write them down. I'll confess, I'm not really good at doing that, but when I do that, it feels even better. Here's an exercise that a lot of coaches and a lot of personal development gurus say to do, and it's at the end of the day. Write down the three things you're grateful for. What they don't always say, or what's not always obvious, is as you're writing them down, as you're thinking about them, go into the actual gratitude for them. As I was saying, find those things you're grateful for and notice them. And when you notice them, you usually go into the gratitude. If, if you're just noticing them really quickly, you'll bypass them and say, "Oh yeah, I got flowers outside my door. I should be grateful for it." If you find yourself saying should be, you're not doing it right. Be grateful. Feel that gratitude. So at the end of the day, before you go to bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for, but go into that feeling. If it truly is you're grateful for them, you're thankful for them, go into that feeling of gratitude for each of the 3 that you wrote down. Then go to bed. And the reason why that's important is because that is the most important time that you can actually give some stuff to think about that will sink deepest into your mind just before you go to bed. And sometimes just when you're waking up too. But before you go to bed is definitely a certainty. You give thought to your gratitude. You give thought to the things you're grateful for before you go to bed, and you will see more beauty. You will have more things to be grateful for the next day. So start to live in gratitude. This is a part of being present, being in the moment that's not talked about that much, is because when you actually are in the moment of gratitude, when you're actually experiencing something in that moment and you're feeling the gratitude, that's really important. That's really powerful. And that's what you want to start practicing, is being in that moment and feeling the gratitude as you're experiencing things to be grateful for. Hey, I'm grateful for anything and everything that happens during the day. I'm grateful for a phone call I might get out of the blue by someone I haven't talked to in a long time. But also, as I'm driving and I see someone or something that maybe doesn't even come close to happening, but almost happens, I'm grateful for I wasn't part of it. I'm grateful for it didn't happen. I'm grateful when I hear about people who have saved someone else's life. They didn't save mine. I would be definitely much more grateful, but I'm still grateful because they're doing something really good. They've saved somebody. When someone comes close but doesn't get hurt from anything, if I hear it in the news or whatever it is, I'm grateful. I'm grateful they didn't get hurt. Or maybe they didn't get hurt as they could have been. You find reasons to be grateful, and it's not only about you. It can be about anyone or anything. Start practicing gratitude. We're going to get more and more into gratitude as we go through the month. Until then, I will see you next week. So have a fantastic day. Have an incredible week. And as you know, it's up to you to make it a fantastic day. It's up to you to make an incredible, incredible week because it's in your control. It's also in your control to be grateful, to find things to be grateful for. All right, all. You take care. Bye.